So we're in this house because we have several registers that are the last several years showing mildew. They just bought the house a few years ago. It's showing mildew and rust in the registers upstairs around the sheetrock. There's one that's real bad. So I'm gonna turn this thing on and check it outside first. Alright, so we're gonna let this unit run. I've got it turned on. It's about, Jesus, 62 degrees out here, 75 upstairs. So obviously this unit's kind of dirty. They've had this house for about 4 years. The equipment was here when they bought it. Needs to get some maintenance done on it, obviously. But they're having mildew issues around several of the registers upstairs. The one in the bathroom, there's another two in the bedroom. One's a little rust stained, the other one's got some growth, mildew around it on the sheetrock. So I'm gonna run it, check my charge, make sure that is cooperating first. And then we're gonna pop up in the attic and start to look and see what's going on up there with our boots and our registers. A lot of these older houses like this have that old bat insulation in it. It wasn't sprayed in where it's real thick. When you get up there and you find rows and rows of bat insulation, and they roll it out right up to the register, and then they stop, put a little bit on the other side, but they leave a lot of exposed metal up there, the boots, the plates. Then you get that hot attic air up there, and you run in that air conditioner real cold through this thing, and you get sweating on those boots, and then eventually you get condensate running down the sides of the boots from the attic, and it stains and gets the insulation or the sheetrock wet. Then you've got issues with mold and mildew. And you can look at the corners of those registers at the ceiling from inside the room, and at the corners you can see the dirt fanning out from each corner, which tells me that we also have air leakage there. We're getting some attic air bleeding in there, getting some cold air bleeding behind it as well, and then we're ended up with basically you're making weather at the supply register. You got dew point, humidity, all that comes into play there, and you're going to have condensation. So I'm going to go up in there and see what condition that is. Right now the charge on this thing, that refrigerant charge looks good. The filters are clean. They are the wrong size. They're supposed to be, according to those grills, 15 by 24. They got 14 by 24 in there. So I'm getting some bypass air around the filters in the ceiling grills upstairs. I've told her about that, so she's going to order some proper size filters. There is a media filter box, I think she said, up there. I haven't checked that yet. She said they're not putting a filter in it, but I'll look at it while we're up there. So anyway, let's head up there and see what condition these things are in. Check those boots up in the attic and see whether they're insulated or not. Alright, so let's see, make sure there's not a filter in here. Nope. One of these old Ultravation media filters. I'd recommend putting one back in here if they want to, because that 15 by 24 is an odd size filter, so I'm not quite sure. In the long run, it might be better to go back to using the media filter. I'm trying to hunt down a 15 by 24. You might find them at Lowe's, but kind of an odd size. Usually it's like a 16 by 20. or maybe a 16 by 25 or something like that. 20 by 25, 20 by 20. Some of your more standard sizes, you don't see a 15 very often, but I measured it and it's 15 inches across there. So we're looking at about a 68-degree return, which makes sense. The thermostat was reading, I think, 74 when I turned it on. But the returns and the registers are all in the ceiling, so those returns are going to pull that cold air right out of the vents, right across the ceiling. So I don't want to mess up the insulation on this thing. It's already torn, but there's not a hole back there, so I really hate doing anything to damage that. And I know everybody don't be poking holes. Everybody has done it, so we'll leave it at that. We'll come up here. See, it's the first time we've been to this house, and look, there's like 4 holes there. There's 1 hole over there. So I'm not sure who they use. It doesn't look like they use anybody for a maintenance, but we're running a 47-degree supply temperature, so that is good. We've got a 21-degree drop on it. The charge looks good outside. It's 62, 63 outside. Try not to run air conditioners too hard when we get down into the 60-degree and below range. But let's go over here and check out some of these boots. If I can find one I can get to. This place is a storage bin, and I'm not going to worry about crawling back there, because if we're going to come back and seal them, we're going to probably send one of the install guys, possibly maybe one of our guys will come back, but I'm pretty sure if I find 1 or 2 one condition, they're all going to be the same way. So we'll go back here and get back here without breaking my neck. So this is, looks like that's going to be the easiest one to get to. There's another one back there. I think that over there goes to her closet. Her closet was clean as a whistle, so I didn't see anything in that one. These two, that one was a little rusty, but the sheetrock wasn't mildewy. This one was the one that had all the mildew on the sheetrock. So let's crawl back there and take a look at it. And stink bugs. Start seeing those things everywhere now. I get them at home every once in a while to get in the house somehow. I hate those things. So yeah, there we go. This is typically what you find when you see wet sheetrock in a house, or any kind of mildew around a ceiling register and upstairs. See all that? So that metal is exposed, and yeah, you can feel the cold air. You can feel the cold air leaking out of that thing. So when this attic's 120, 25 degrees, there's your sheetrock right there. All this stuff is going to sweat. It's going to get cold where it's exposed like that, and you're going to get condensation, and you're basically, you're just going to be creating weather down there under this register in that room. That cold air, this hot surface, any warm air that's getting bled through here, and then that cold air, and that stuff reaches dew point in that area, you're gonna have sweating. That's just, I find this all the time. They roll this, oh, you don't see this in old newer houses, but I'm gonna recommend she have somebody come out as well and come in here. They're going to clean all this out, but use spray and insulation and just cover all this, cover your ductwork, and just, obviously it's going to help with your heating costs, but this stuff needs to be, so we're going to come back out here basically, and we're going to pull all this stuff back. We're going to go in here and we're going to mastic, we're going to paint all that metal, all that stuff. We're going to seal it in. We're going to pack insulation around all this to keep the attic air off of it, and then we're going to go under the bottom. And I took a register out in the bathroom before I came up here, and you can just look all the way around the boot from down in the bathroom. When you take the register off, just gapped all the way around. So you're getting all kind of air, and like I said, on the corners, you can see the corners where the colors, the dirt and the dust kind of fan out from each corner. That tells me I'm getting air leakage right there, because it's just it's kind of like throwing sand on the ground and blowing it. Well, it's dusty up here, but anyway, that's kind of what I'm dealing with this afternoon. So you just got 5 or 6 of these registers that are mildewy, and then they've got rust stains on them. They've just been condensating. I don't know what air conditioning temperature. Now, the colder she's keeping that air conditioner, the colder that air is coming out of it. She's keeping it set on, trying to keep it to 68 degrees up here in the summer upstairs, and you're going to have temperatures in the mid 40s supply temperatures, and voila, doesn't take very long at that temperature to get below dew point, and you're going to have sweating. So anyway, there's where the drain lines run out somehow. I don't know what the hell's going on back there. But anyway, guys, that's a quick video. Anytime you're getting mildew around a register, especially in a bathroom, if they're running a lot of water, they don't run their exhaust fan, or other rooms, you get some air leakage, get in the attic and check, make sure you see if your boots have been sealed, see if the outer insulation on the duct tying into it, if you got flex, has been pulled down and wrapped. You can't get them all the way down, so you need to paint and seal those. Make sure you're not getting any attic air leaking through that, and then you need to get some insulation and pack it all the way around and keep as much of that attic air off of those connections as you can, and typically that fixes the problem. All right, guys, bottom right hand corner as you look at it, subscribe, like, comment. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll talk to you on the next one.